Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to WrestleMinute. I am your host, my name is Jack, aka Loud and Noxious. I am a ring announcer and commentator for professional wrestling of 15 years. I've worked for such wrestling promotions as Chikara, Ring of Honor, Wrestle Circus, Bar Wrestling, Kaiju Big Battle, Evolve, and many, many more. But more than that, I am just a big, huge wrestling fan. We got a lot of wrestling news to get to this week, so let's get started. The Crown Jewel event, this is happening. They're not going to cancel the event. This is kind of a hard thing to talk about because I don't want WrestleMinute to be a political thing. I'm not really interested in talking about politics. I want to talk about wrestling. I want to talk about angles. I want to talk about booking. I want to talk about heel turns. I want to talk about matches. But I really do think this needs to be addressed because I was really hoping that they would cancel. This is just my opinion. Again, this is just going by what I would do if I was in their situation. I'm not making a judgment call or saying what the WWE is doing is I'm not taking a moral stance on what they're doing. I'm just saying this is what I would. And here's why. I feel it sends the wrong message. Saudi Arabia, I feel like with these WWE events, they're trying to reach out to a Western audience. They're trying to reach out to the world. They're trying to bring tourism into their country, and they're trying to expand their public profile. They're trying to look good, you know? I really feel like the last show they did was a big PR push for how, you know, they're changing as a country. I feel like this sends the wrong message because of what happened in the recent events. The events I'm referring to is the alleged murder of the prominent Saudi columnist Jamal Khashoggi at the Istanbul consulate. In light of these events, if WWE goes into Saudi Arabia and does this show, we're kind of sending the message that that's okay. I understand they have a contract in place. I understand there's a lot of money on the line. I just feel like in light of these actions, we're saying that it's okay. And in my opinion, I would say that would be a justification to cancel a show. If there is only one thing, I would probably say this would maybe be the one thing. That being said, I'm not making a judgment call. WWE is going to do what they have to do. I kind of had a feeling they were going to go through with this show. If they do the show, I'm going to cover the show. This is WrestleMinute. That's what we do here. I feel that no matter what happens, no matter how great the matches are or how great the show is or what angles go down, the return of Shawn Michaels, Brock Lesnar appearing, that's all going to be overshadowed by the political events that surround this, and we're going to look back on Crown Jewel with a bad taste in our mouth. Moving on to the very sad news about Roman Reigns. Nobody knew the status of his condition. No one knew that he had leukemia. I certainly didn't know. It shows you that life can take you in certain directions that you may not expect to go. I think that Roman Reigns will beat this. I think Roman Reigns will be back. I think he's an incredibly strong person, both of mind and body. I believe Roman Reigns will get the hero's welcome that the WWE has been searching for so long when he returns. They were going to wait a little bit longer to turn Dean Ambrose heel, but this was the right time because with the departure of Roman Reigns, that's the end of the Shield. So it was the right time for Dean to make the heel turn, storyline-wise, and I think that it was punctuated by, what happened. There's nothing we can do about that. I think that taking advantage of this situation for storyline purposes was okay. I think it's given Dean Ambrose a big-time heel turn. Now he's really a heel. As unfortunate as all of this is, I think that this could all turn out to be down the line, maybe down further, maybe a little bit further than we can see. This could turn out to be something very, very positive. Evolution, or evolution, depending on what country you're from. It's the very, very first all-women's pay-per-view in WWE history. Hard to believe that, right? 2018. It's hard to believe that this is the first all-women's pay-per-view. It's going to be a big show, man. I mean, everybody's on it. Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, the Bellas. They're bringing back Trish. They're bringing back Lita, Mickie James. It's going to be huge. There's going to be a battle royal. But I'll tell you what I think is missing from Evolution, and I'll tell you what that is. Where is the Women's Tag Team Championship? It's not even the first time it would be a thing, because the Women's Tag Team Champion existed in the late 80s when we had one of the greatest WWE feuds of all time, in my opinion. One of the feuds that made me a wrestling fan. Once upon a time, the WWE had a Women's Tag Team Championship, and the title holders were Leilani Kai and Judy Martin, the Glamour Girls, managed by Jimmy Hart. And they feuded with the Japanese duo, the Jumping Bomb Angels. And they had a series of matches that were incredible. The very first Royal Rumble was not a pay-per-view. It was a special on the USA Network. And the highlight of that show was not the 30-man, but the first one was a 20-man Royal Rumble, which was won by Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Oops, spoiler alert. The highlight of that show was the Glamour Girls versus the Jumping Bomb Angels in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Do yourself a favor, get on the WWE Network and watch this match. The Jumping Bomb Angels were a very influential tag team, not just in women's wrestling, not just in Japanese wrestling, but in wrestling in general. They changed the way wrestling worked. I mean, if you take a look at wrestlers like the Dynamite Kid, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Randy Macho Man Savage, Chris Benoit, you watch how these guys wrestled, this was one of their main influences. They trained wrestling legend Manami Toyota, who some wrestling experts feel is the greatest female wrestler of all time. And I can tell you firsthand, I worked with her when I was in Chikara. She is probably the greatest female wrestler of all time. So check out Manami Toyota if you get the chance. Definitely check out the Jumping Bomb Angels and the Glamour Girls. WWE, it's time for a Women's Tag Team Championship. So wow, what a packed news week here on WrestleMinute. I'm going to be definitely checking out Evolution. I'm going to be checking out Crown Jewel. I'm going to be getting back to you on that as soon as I see it. Hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you next time on WrestleMinute.